Alright guys, we are out on the last day of Tilefish season. I popped one small one in the box right away when we started, as you guys saw. Blane up here is like just taking the captain to the woodshed. Alright guys, here you go. It's the last day of Tilefish season and Blane and I are heading out to bust a couple out. I made some major modifications to my deep drop gear this year, guys, which is actually I really like. So I'm going to cover that, what I did on the end of the video here. I'll show you guys what I did, why I did it, and it'll improve, to me it improved my deep dropping, and it's a lot more fun doing it this direction. So grab your life jackets and hang on and welcome aboard. Okay, we hit the Tilefish grounds. I hit the bottom, got hooked up right away, guys. So it takes a couple minutes to get it up. Let's see what we got shaking. I got color down there, Blane. Looking tile-ish. Looking tile. Mr. Tile. Perfect. You know, eating-wise, that's delicious right there. Little one. That's why he hung up, because he was a little guy. Oh, shit, get him. Came off. How's that for a gaff shot? All right, rebait time, guys. First thing, take a look there. I've got the plastic tote sitting in my fish box with all my bait in it. So when we get fish and we've got to put them in there, I just grab the tote, pull it out of there, and as we make the saltwater brine in the box, I put the lid on, and I've got a couple different ones. I like to use one that is sealed so it does not get water in it. So here you have my basic chicken rig. Top, I got a piece of squid. Middle hook, I've got, I believe, a piece of barracuda there. I'll use a strip of ballyhoo as well on occasion, or a strip of bonita if you got one. All of them work really well. So I kind of like to mix up the baits a little bit on the hook. All right, guys, we are out on the last day of Tilefish season. I popped one small one in the box right away when we started, as you guys saw. Blane up here is like just taking the captain to the woodshed. I just don't know. I mean, you bring a guy fishing, show him what to do, and he's good at it. So, what's your number, Blane? 515. All right, he's got 515 feet left. We're going to see what he's got. All right, guys, Blane was hooked up here. You got a double. You got two. You got two. Awesome. Nice job, Blane. That's your limit right there. You're done. Here, grab this guy. Let's grab him right by them swivels. All right, guys, we got Blane. Blane's showing me up on the Tilefish grounds. All right, that was awesome. First drop, Blane hooks a double. And as you guys know, they reduced the recreational limits again this year to 2 tilefish. You know, and they reduced our season time, which, you know, I don't know if anybody knows who we can voice an opinion on something like that, but I know the commercial guys that I've talked to even felt we kind of got the screw job this year. No, just one. All right, hand cranking. Got another tile on here, guys. Here you go, Blane. Grab him, bring him on in. Another nice one. Beauty. Blane's beating shit out of my boat. Everybody's seen it. Whoopsie. Hold him up, Blane. There we go. Gorgeous. Say cheese. There we go, guys. That's our limit on tiles today. So last day we came out, did that. We're going to start hunting some mahi next. Blane's hooked up, guys. First mahi. How big is he? Can you tell? It's right on the edge, flip or gaff. Probably gaff. Now if he runs, just give him a little tip. This big thing is keep him down in the water. I'll tell you when I want the swivel almost a foot from the gaff. Okay. All right, this fish burned around the back of the motors, guys, and flipped, I don't know, turned sideways and a hook popped on us. So this one got off, but we're back after another one. All right, he's gonna stay on that side of the boat. So very unusual where they switch unless they're hooked right in the nose. Oh, come on over this side. That reel takes about 50 inches of cranks. Jumping in the air. See? Alright guys, hooked up on the Mahi, Blane's on the rod. Let's see if we can get him into the boat this time. First one did not cooperate. Might be a nice fish. Watch. He's a flipping Blane. Are you used to flipping them in at all? Yep. Stuff him in this box. Make sure anybody behind him. Get about 6 inches above the swivel. Flip him in. There's nobody behind him. Flip. In the box. There you go. Keep it in line. All right, Blane's been busting them out here. I've had him on the rods most of the time. So he's got another one hooked right back up. We just spun around, got back through the birds again. He's hooked up again. I take and bleed all my Mahi out too, guys. I throw them into the live well right there. I'm going to just transfer them into, they're bled out and they're going from the live well, drop them right into that salt brine. That cools them off immediately. You know, that's the best way to take care of your fish. So I got those two back out. Blane's cranking another one into the boat here.
Yeah. He doesn't move yourself.
Yeah, flip him up.
Oh, watch it.
He's a self-releaser. I was probably gonna pop him anyway. You know, I didn't want to catch him either. All right. We'll see if he's a flipper or a gaffer. We're gonna see if he's got buddies too. Rod tip way out. All right. Hold on. Just keep working him. I'm gonna spin the boat a little bit. Yep. Rod tip all the way out. Reel. Oh, you can flip him. Down to the swivel. Flip in the box. Not in the box.
No, that's good.
Nice, Blane. That was good. Where's the birds? Hey, they're right there, man. Oh, you got one on, Blane. All right, guys, you can see me screwing around with the other GoPro here. I have what's called a media mod on the camera. And sometimes the media mod will not turn on or turn off. So you actually have to take it apart, pop the battery out, and put it back in, which is what I'm doing here. It's a bit of a pain. I've started not putting the media mod on the camera on the boat just due to that fact. In the meantime, Blane over here is hooked up to another Mahi line. Fucking GoPro. Did you get underneath there? Nope. Hold on. Just easy with him. Come on this side. He's gonna stay on this side. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me get the open. He's a keeper. Flipped off right in the box. Okay. Hey guys, Captain Matt here, Marathon Sport Fishing, just pulling back to the dock. Got to run around the corner here. Hey buddy. The boxer gives me what's up every time we go by. So I got a special guest today, Blane Hammond. Blane, what's your business name?
I have a commercial kitchen equipment business based here in the Florida Keys.
So if you guys need a fryer, an ice machine guy, whatever,
ovens,
Blane's your guy down in the Florida Keys. So Blane went to work like 3 or 4 this morning. I called him up, said, hey, it's the last day for tilefish season, so He's like, man, I'm just wrapping up. So I was loading the boat, so we came down, and Blane was like kicking my can on the tilefish. All right, guys, here we go. We got one of the 4 tilefish Blane and I caught on the last day of tilefish season. I'm gonna clean this guy up. First thing, tilefish in general, they have a really hard skin and scales on them. So my main knife, really sharp. This is a knife I use to take the skin off. Usually I leave this knife pretty dull, but I did put an edge on it to deal with the tilefish. They're a little different, and they're very tough. So like most fish, you're gonna wanna start at the tail. I go up underneath the scales, because cutting through their scales is really tough. And I start at the back, and I got the knife a big angle on the knife as I'm running up the spine. This part's pretty similar to most fish. You can see I've got a lot of pressure on this. These things are tough. You got small scales there on the knife. So once you get that up to the head, I outline them like most fish. Again, I'm gonna angle my knife here to start this cut to get under them scales, because they are extremely tough. I've got a lot of pressure on it, even with a really sharp knife. So I come back to about even with the fin, and I make the incision up to the top. Then I'm gonna work the bottom. Again, the knife angle, significant to get underneath the scales, push them all the way up to about the anal vent, and just the tip of the knife, I'm gonna work up to the first incision just behind that side fin here. I'm working around the ribs. Gently, you don't want to puncture, if you haven't got them out, you don't want to puncture the stomach cavity on the fish. Okay, so we've got the fillet outlined. Work the knife along the backbone. And they have a pronounced backbone. This backbone's going to be rounded like a mahi. They're pretty pronounced. So again, I start on the bottom and I work up to the backbone as well. When your fillet is just connected here at the side bones or the backbone going down the fish, and I'm actually taking my knife, the fish is like this, I'm taking my knife, rolling it up over the backbone, literally. Going along the bones here, careful around the stomach cavity. I've got the bottom done up to the stomach compartment area. Now these have pin bones all the way down the fish. They're really tough pin bones. When you get the real big ones, extremely tough. A lot of times with the big ones, you got the rib bones or the first pin bone. I actually have a scissors. These things are phenomenal. They're really hard scissors. They're a Cuda. You can get them on Amazon. I'll have the link in the video. Like here, I'm coming in, snip right through one of those big bones coming off the ridge going out. Now I'm cutting through the rest of the pin bones. The first 1 or 2 are really thick. Again, rolling it down over the rib cage to my first incision, running the knife back behind it. So here you can see like the fillet, beautiful fillet. I'll show you the fish, guys. If you look down the backbone of the fish, there's no meat wasted, maybe a little millimeter here. Where I rolled up over the backbone, I don't like to waste any meat. I went a long ways to catch this fish, specifically targeted him. So I'm gonna put him back on ice and finish up the one side of the fillet. I always pick my fillet up, rinse the table. I'd love to have a clean fillet table. You take a lot of time to go out and catch your fish, trimming off a little bit of the bottom here, but you take a lot of time, energy, and effort to go out and find fish and catch them. Take a little bit of energy to clean them. So with these guys, down, you can see like there's a bloodline down the backbone or down along their backbone. They have lateral bones that come out all the way down the fish. So I'll take and I'll run the knife. I'm going to go down each side of those bones. Just going to split it off from the rest. Basically going to split the fillet in 2. And again, it's really hard. The skin on them is super hard. So here's the bottom fillet on it. With the tilefish, along their back, they do have like a bloodline along the back as well. So I like to take and try to leave like about maybe 1/8 of an inch of meat on with that skin. To do that, you're gonna get your knife down, lay it flat, perfectly flat. And if you can hold it perfectly flat on the fillet and just take your time doing this, you can see the skin is stretching behind it. That's a perfect, see there's no bloodline on the back. That's an absolutely perfect fillet. So with this, here we go. This is the back skin. You can see all the red here, and I've got about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch of skin on it. So that's how I fillet the tilefish. Absolutely amazing eating. On the next piece, lay that guy there. So the next piece, I still have the bones in them. I'm gonna cut the bones out, do the same thing here. I don't know if you guys can hear the knife clicking. If you leave the bones in, they're so strong, but it has a tendency to take your knife and pick it up too high in the back fillet and you'll lose a little meat. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on this just to get the bones out. And you can see there's a bloodline in there. That's pretty bloody, but the bones make it very difficult. So you want to do this guy in like 4 pieces basically. So get your fillet where you can grab it easy. I'm just using one finger and I'm gently filleting it off the back. I want to leave that little bit of meat on there and just take your time, saw it. You can see the skin is stretching out behind the fillet. And here we go. Absolutely perfect fillet. If you skin it all the way down, this is going to be on here and you got to fillet it off. I got a little tiny bit here on the inside next to where the bones come down. I'll fillet them off, and that's how you clean the tilefish. All right, guys, Blane and I had an absolute epic day offshore. Not very often I get my tail kicked on my own boat fishing, but Blane did a great job. He's done a lot of deep dropping in the past. I think I probably do things different than he had seen before, but hopefully he was taking notes. He was obviously using my tactics against me. So anyway, I butterflied out a couple of the fillets. They were pretty thick, so I just split them in half, flipped them so they're like twice the size. So here's what we got shaking. I've got a little Chef Paul Prudhomme's Seafood Magic on there. I'm going with some butter. That both sides have it on. I put it on there about, I'd say at least a half an hour, 40 minutes ago. The lemon, we'll say our cocktail for today. This is what we're having with dinner. A little Cardigan Bay Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. I've got a little rice going here. It's actually done. Let's take a look at it. It's on the warm cycle. Yum. So I did some rice with some chicken stock in it. Just a basic yellow rice. Fish. Pretty simple. All right, guys, here we go. I've got the butter melted. You do not want to burn the butter. There's straight butter in there. So I'm just going, what am I at? Medium on the temperature. You don't want to burn it. I'm getting the lemon kind of starting to sizzle a little bit. Got the tilefish in the pan. The lemon's getting, she's starting to get there. I'd say about the bottom quarter of that lemon's done. I can just feel it's getting squishy. I put this piece in first because it was a little thicker. Okay, so I flipped the fish about a minute or so ago. I've got it going on low right now. The butter will, in conjunction with that spice, will give it a nice brown there. I'm gonna take the lemon and just crush it on there now. That bad boy is hot. I'm just telling you what. But you see how the juice came out of that lemon. I mean, once you heat the lemon up, it's just like turbocharges it. So I just wanted to spritz the fish with the lemon, let that settle in. It's settling in the butter. And what I'm gonna do is kind of baste it, you know, the fish I'm going to roll it around in the pan, baste it with that combination of lemon and butter in the pan there. It's on low right now, so I'm just kind of slow finishing it. All right, guys, just wrapping up here. Got a little bit of rice going here. The fish, one way to tell if you're done, you move it and you break off the bottom flake. It starts coming apart. She is finished. So I'm gonna pull that off. Got a little, I guess a little Paul Perdomes on there. Let me see what we got shaking here. Miss Tamara and I are getting ready for dinner, so I'm gonna do a quick taste test for you guys. Give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on this program. This is the piece that came off. I like it. It gets a little blackening with it. A little smells fantastic, guys. Not gonna lie. Holy crap, is that good. Yep. That is off the chart. Okay. Watch it. You can just pull it apart. Just flakes apart. Absolutely fantastic. You know, the big thing with fish, you know, and the rice, let me check the rice first. Make sure that didn't go south. Hard to screw up rice when you got a rice maker. That's rice with a little chicken base with it, you know, mixed in, like a tablespoon of chicken base per 1 cup of rice. Absolutely awesome too. All right, guys, like I said, I made some major changes to my deep drop setup this year. I really like what's going on. I've been running the rigs like this since, you know, beginning of May, basically, when season opened for tile and grouper. So here's what I got going. I'll tell you what I've got set up. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to possibly change in the future. First of all, my rods. I'm running a 30 to 50 pound class rod right now on both rigs. Ideally, I'd like to get that down to a straight 30, so you got a little more flex, a little more play in the rod. That might be ideal, but these rods have very good tip sensitivity as far as the bite goes. Second, the line. I've got one reel with 20 pound line and one with 30 pound line. What that smaller line enables you to do versus running 60 or 70, which almost everybody runs down here, that line really cuts through the water a lot better. So you've got a lot less scope. With the line, it goes from the braid to a top shot. It's tied together with an Alberto knot, you guys. I'll put a link in below on that. But the top shot's 30 feet of 100 pound mono. You need the mono for some stretch when one of them giant groupers slam the rod, because they are very violent when you first hook them. They go nuts and they are pounding on that rig. So that gives you a little buffer to keep them on. From the mono, it goes to I have like a 150 or 200 pound snap swivel, a little overkill probably, to a 3-hook rig. My rig is made of 200 pound mono. I like that because when you're in really deep water bringing up a fish, they spin around the rig. If you've got 100, 150 pound mono, they snarl it all up. Weight, here's a big deal. It's 3 pounds. With that lighter line, we can run 3 pounds of weight instead of like 8. Substantial. As far as lights go, guys, I like using a light when I'm hunting grouper or like barrel fish and stuff like that. Tiles, I don't necessarily always use one. Bait. Squid is your absolute go-to for bait. I like to mix it up and put a strip of bonita, a strip of barracuda, or something else on the rig as well. And sometimes I'll just use strips or chunks of barracuda, chunks of bonita, or chunks of ballyhoo. You've seen what I'm running for reels this year, guys. I have the Daiwa Sea Powers. I've got one 1200 and one 800. The 800 definitely holds way more than enough line. I wouldn't recommend getting the 1200. It's a little bigger reel. It's wider because it's got more line. And finally, drag. When you're running lighter tackle like this, this is what I like to do. I probably set that drag at about 10 pounds of pressure. And what I do is, once I'm on bottom, it's just got light pressure. Once I hook a fish, initially you're going to get bit. I always drop the rig, lay it down upon a bite, and give them a few seconds to get the bait in their mouth. And there may be other fish next to them. When you've seen Blane catch that double, That's how we caught the double. He dropped the rig to the bottom, laid it down, gave it a minute, and then advanced the gear and hooked up the fish. The reason that, first of all, you're running 20 or 30 pounds, you don't want 30 pounds of drag on the reel if you're running 20 or 30 pounds of line. You want, usually the rule of thumb is like 30% on your drag setting. I like to run about 10 pounds. Once I hook the fish, if he's really dogging me on the bottom and he's not coming up, then I take the reel and I take the star drag and advance it about 1/8 of a turn at a time until I start getting the fish to come up. If you're in heavier waves and the boat is bouncing and the boat pulls up with a wave, I like to see that drag slip just a little bit so you don't rip the hooks out on the fish. All right, guys, hopefully that helps you out. That's my new deep drop setup. Like I said, I really like it. That lighter line enables you to use less weight. All right, guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, smash the subscribe button. It's going to pop up here shortly. Also, if you like today's video, give me a thumbs up on the like. If you have any questions, comments, anything else you'd like to see, zip me over a comment. You guys, there's a lot of you that comment quite frequently. I appreciate it. You all know that I answer every one of you guys personally. So every morning, that's what I do. But first 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on how many comments I got going, I'm in my office. I'm burning through you guys' comments, seeing what you thought of the videos. So this is Captain Matt, Marathon Sport Fishing. I'm signing off for today.